As many Americans are home right now talking about the football games and Kim Kardashian and Kanye West getting robbed in Paris and all this other parasitic nonsense that the mainstream media fills your brain with, the Russians, 40 million of them, are taking part in the largest nuclear disaster drill since the Cold War. There's very dangerous escalations geopolitically between the Russians and the United States, with many international experts saying we are closer to war than ever before the Cold War, of course, obviously, because then tensions were extremely high. But now those tensions are escalating on grand proportions that we've never seen before. On the heels of the U.S. State Department announcing it would end negotiations with Russia over Syria, they literally just walked away. They literally ended communications. Tomorrow, an unprecedented 40 million Russian citizens, as well as 200,000 specialists from emergency rescue divisions and 50,000 units of equipment are set to take part in a 4-day-long civil defense, emergency evacuation, and disaster preparedness drill, the Russian Ministry for Civil Defense reported on its websites. Russia, it's telling its citizens to prepare for nuclear war with the West. Official Russian state TV channels have issued this chilling warning as officials have built underground shelters big enough for 12 million people. The Kremlin has organized a mass evacuation drill in the capital of Moscow because of the deteriorating geopolitical relationship between Russia and the United States. This is extremely dangerous because with the dialogue over between Russia and the United States over Syria, with these people not communicating anymore, the possibilities for conflict are higher than ever. As this is happening, the tensions are extremely high. The US government is blaming Russia for exactly what it is doing and has done throughout its foreign policy career, bombing a country. The United States has bombed many countries throughout the last couple of years, but now they're saying the bombing of Aleppo by Russia is, quote, barbaric. The United States has again committed other acts. And now the Democrats and Republicans in the United States are poking the bear, supporting a Syrian no-fly zone. A Syrian no-fly zone, which is propositioned by John Kerry, which is Hillary Clinton's staple foreign policy directive. It would cause an all-out war between Russia, and this is according to a top U.S. general who said if we do implement this no-fly zone, this means all-out right war, not only between Russia, because Russia is also very closely aligned with China. China is assisting the Syrian government inside of Syria against the rebels that the United States wants to put into place, wants to take over that very important geopolitical region. With these warnings, with John Kerry propositioning the no-fly zone, Russia is answering back by considering infinite deployment in Syria. They just also set up very strategic points of their air missile defense systems inside of Syria, also expanded those. Vladimir Putin just sent warships to the Mediterranean to prepare for military operations. And as this is happening, there was a very dangerous situation as a Russian nuclear plane was flying near Europe, and 4 countries from NATO had to intercept this Russian nuclear plane that was flying very close to Europe. With this all happening, Russia has just suspended nuclear cooperation with the United States because of the conflict in Syria. Top U.S. generals say that it is unwise to share intelligence with Russia on Syria, and they will likely move forward with that plan, with the halting of more communications, with more bombing campaigns. As we talked about previously before, the United States has just, quote, accidentally bombed Syrian government forces. Now, John Kerry and the U.S. government is saying that we will bomb more Syrian government forces as a threat. But they said they did it in an accident before. But obviously, it wasn't, since ISIS was able to take a major stronghold position during the U.S. bombing of Syrian troops that the United States government said was an accident. Now, the U.S. government is saying we are considering bombing more Syrian government troops. And of course, there's some war hawks within the U.S. military, like U.S. Army Chief Mark Milley, who says that we will beat you anywhere, anytime, giving a very stark, dangerous warning to Russia. Now, again, these escalations of conflicts, this is something that should be of grave concern because it will be extremely lethal and fast, according to many US generals. If you look at the countries who have nuclear arsenals, Russia has more nuclear weapons than we do. This is why they are preparing for an all-out nuclear war. Now, the United States has a more built-up military, has a stronger military than Russia, than most of the, than the entire military of all these other countries. But the only thing Russia has is nuclear weapons. It is their ultimate trump card. And now they're even talking about, in the United States, bolstering up their space war challenges that loom, because many U.S. experts are saying that China and Russia are attempting to outpace the U.S. in military matters with regard to space, and that the Pentagon is now moving to counter the foreseen challenges of possibly being outmaneuvered and outgunned in space. We're talking about literal Star Wars between these countries, not just a nuclear war. We're talking about an outright war in space. That's how far technology has expanded, especially when it comes to military weapons and military might ever since the Cold War. We're not only talking about destroying this Earth, we're also talking about having a full-out war inside of frickin' space between China and Russia. These threats are very possible. There's a reason the U.S. generals are talking about bolstering up frickin' space weapons. This is not sci-fi here. This is real-life situations that the world is dealing with right now. You won't know this by watching the mainstream media, but this conflict in Syria, again, was a major proxy war for over a year between Russia and the United States. Russia backed the Syrian government. The United States has been backing the rebels, and a lot of that backing, a lot of that money, a lot of that weapons have ended up in the hands of al-Nusra, ISIS, al-Qaeda inside of Syria, financing the very worst enemy that we are supposed to be fighting. And again, Assad, the president of Syria, said that the United States is just here to enforce its global dominance. As we've seen, Russia and China have stepped in the way of U.S. global dominance. The United States is not backing down, and they're only escalating the situations that is unfolding right now inside of Syria, inside the major city of Aleppo, a very geopolitically strong position that Bashar al-Assad needs to capture in order to have more power, in order to end the war. The United States does not want this to be over, and that's why they want to implement the no-fly zone, so Russia and the Syrian government cannot bomb Aleppo. So Aleppo could still be in contention, even though if Aleppo is taken by the Syrian government, the war would be virtually over. Very dangerous situation. Stay tuned on this YouTube channel. We have a sponsor that is promoting and also helping us finance this operation, which is a storable food company, which you could find out more about by going to wearechange.org/store. It's a company that I personally believe in, and I believe in people being prepared. So check out that link in order to prepare yourself. It's always good to be smarter than not prepared at all for the insane escalations that are happening right now. Check out wearechange.org/store for more information on those storable food products, which would be very wise for people to purchase and buy. You could also support us on patreon.com/wearechange, because again, we are independent, we are unfiltered, we are giving you the news as it happens with all the sources in the description below for you to fact check everything yourself. Extremely important news. Share this information with your friends. We're going to keep on this and a lot more on this YouTube channel, giving you the news that you need to know now.